What up? What up? What up, world? How's everybody doing tonight? This is Get Right Fantasy Network. Just getting us started. I'm Mike. Good to see you. Right now, we're waiting on Ant. He's running a little late, so no worries there. So I'll take over for a little bit, and Ant will join me in a little bit. First, make sure you guys check out GetRightFF.com. Check out our articles. Check out my articles that are up there, and also Andrew's as well. Make sure you guys are checking out the swag on there, and all the, our rankings and things like that. We're going to have weekly rankings up soon, so check those out once they're out. Also, make sure you guys check out Sunday afternoon. Well, afternoon for me, morning for you guys. We're going to be starting anywhere between 11 and 11:30 Eastern. So, getting the last minute actives and inactives, start sit questions, things like that. Tonight we're going to break down all the games like we did last Friday. We're going to be trying to break that up as we go along, but this week just worked out that we're going to be going over it all tonight. We're going to try to move through these quick, and we'll do our best to answer your start sit questions as we go. First, I want to start out with one of our ambassadors. So shout out to Magoats. He does a interesting fact of the day for us. And for today, it's I love hearing this because, good old Donovan McNabb. So Donovan McNabb played 4 games in the state of Florida during his NFL career. He vomited on the field in 3 of them. So, oh, God. No worries. Anthony let me know he's trying to get there. He's listening as we go. So we have Dem Boys in the house, always here supporting. What up? Shout out to Dem Boys. Love having you in here. Next, I just want to make sure that we get this in. But I'm going to be talking about Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys check them out. They have a wonderful app for doing anything from pick'ems for fantasy stats or just regular statistics in general. They also do daily, or they do like the daily fantasy stuff. So check them out. Make sure you guys use the promo code GETRIGHT. And when you do that, you'll get $10 after your first deposit. So make sure you guys check that out. Underdog Fantasy, great partners. Enjoyed working with them. So definitely check them out. So first, we're going to get into a recap of last night. And being a Giant fan, I am not thrilled. And right now, that game was it was interesting. I was a little upset about the loss, of course. I've watched it so many times that I don't understand how Dexter Lawrence was called off sides. I've watched it about 100 times. And every time I watch it, he is not offsides in any shape, way, or form. So that call was just bull to me. I'm just really upset with that particular call. Not to say that the Giants didn't shoot themselves in the foot. They definitely did, like they always do. And at the same time, I'm just, I'm just overwhelmed. So McLaurin, I was wrong about. I told a lot of people do not start him. The Bradbury effect of shutting people down just didn't work. He made Bradbury look silly. I was very disappointed in that. Saquon, we kind of knew would be off to a slow start. He had a couple of decent runs here and there, but he's still having a rough time. From what I see, his vision isn't there yet. He's still, trying to get his feet under him. So that's going to be a minute. Thanks, Ant. The other thing that I noticed and loved to see was Sterling Shepard. In the beginning of the season, I really thought Shepard would be a incredibly sneaky pickup late in drafts. He's killing it. I mean, he played all the snaps like he should be. He did very well with getting peppered with targets. I mean, he was just one of those players that we saw that I was just thoroughly impressed. Having, what was it? Hold on, I have all the stats. So for week 1, he had 9 total targets. That's unbelievable. I would definitely be trying to get him if you don't already have him. Yeah, everyone just didn't see it coming with McLaurin, just based on the matchup, and even someone like me who I had. Yeah, this is a great stat, and I need to put it up because I saw this before. After 2 games, Shepard's on pace for 136 receptions on 161 targets for 1759 yards and 8 touchdowns, and that would be 390. Basically 360 points and the 8th highest scoring season for a wide receiver ever. So I really hope that that's the case. I really do like Shepard. I drafted him as a flex start when I was drafting him in most of my leagues. But I was hoping that his upside would be higher, and hopefully with that stat, it's true. Daniel Jones did a wonderful job, way better than I thought he would against the Washington defense. They looked not as good as I thought they would be. They definitely, I think everyone was really thinking this would be a different game. Giants really played well on defense as well, made a couple of misplays, but at the end of the day, they did well. They held Gibson to a pretty mediocre day. I know McKissick was the one that outscored, but that was because they were down here and there, and they needed to score at the end. So they were definitely trying to, dump it and move it. It definitely just looked, very, as you said, pedestrian. They didn't get the pressure that I thought they would against a really weak line. And after losing Gates to a horrible injury, which I think is just, the football gods trying to get us back for what we did to Dak. But at the same time, as Dem always said, Danny Dimes did well to, throw really good passes. I know that Darius Slayton missed that one deep ball that, was right on him. I mean, at the same time, just that inch, it matters. One of my favorite speeches is from Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino. The inches speech is, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's probably one of my favorites. I used to watch it before every game, or I used to listen to that particular thing before games just to get myself hyped up. For the Washington backfield, they don't really have many secondary options. Demaney Brown and Adam Humphries did fairly well, considering, they're the only 2 guys there. Logan Thomas actually didn't do as well as I thought he would. Normally tight ends carve us up, but I guess they were, using 11 personnel a lot more. So, they ended up doing a little bit better than Logan Thomas, which I was really shocked about. Tight ends didn't do anything, but I think that's part of why, Shepard is doing so well. We also saw Kenny Golladay involved a lot, and he looks good. He looks healthy. The problem is he's upset about not getting, the ball, which is understandable. But if you're not in camp, unfortunately, Danny's not going to look your way because he's not used to having you out there. So the thing that we saw on the sideline, he was yelling at Jason Garrett. Everyone keeps thinking it was, he was yelling at Danny, but he was really yelling at Jason Garrett. You could tell after the fact. So hopefully they can, get him better involved. They have 10 days of rest. Hopefully that rests up Saquon after, he was saying after the game that he was, a little feeling it a little bit after, only a 4-day rest. So thankfully they didn't have to travel far. They were right down the road. So little things like that. We'll have to see how that goes. Booker has been okay enough to help the backfield, but looks like Daniel Jones is the leading rusher there. So before last week I was looking to trade Danny in our listener league, and still kind of am. I hope that he continues to do well, but we won't be able to tell. He went against a really good D that looked really bad, so we'll have to see how it goes. So I'm going to start breaking down the early games. We're going to start with the Cincinnati at Chicago. The Bears are favored by 2.5. The over-under is 45, which is incredibly low. The Cincinnati Bengals were coming off a big overtime win against the Vikings. Apparently, Cincy's defense looked way better than it did, or way better than people thought it would. They did really well holding Justin Jefferson to almost nothing. Yes, I think you are correct, sir. Let me take 2 seconds to do some of my fun research. In last week's game, in yesterday's game, he was in for 66% of the snaps. So he was basically in for a good majority of the snaps last night. And for week 1, he was in there for the same amount. So his usage is basically the same. They haven't really changed it. I think they might increase it a tad, but he was only used, when needed, and he was out there, but I think they were just trying to utilize other people. So back to the Cincy Chicago game. The Bears defense looked really weak. The secondary was really very weak. They lost Fuller, who was probably one of their best corners, and but they're really strong up front. Hakeem Nicks is he's a bear. The guy just rips through anybody. He is something. Right now, they also have 2 hurt left tackles. Jason Peters is questionable, but their other left tackle is out. I forgot his name offhand. Darnell Mooney, Marquez Godwin are both questionable, but they look like they're going to play. Mooney actually had more offensive snaps than Robinson, so but not by much. No one on the injury report for the Rams. So for this particular game, if I were to pick starters, not the Rams. No one else is out on Cincinnati. That's that we need to worry about. I'm starting T. Higgins. I'm starting Chase. I'm starting Burrow. I have no problem with those guys. Definitely starting Joe Mixon. You can't not. I mean, the guy had a great day on Sunday. Chicago, you're going to have to start, David Montgomery. You're going to have to start Allen Robinson, those guys you drafted early so that you can use them. You're going to have, right now, Cole Kmet is not someone that I would be starting unless you had no other better options and you went really late on tight end. He's basically someone that is not viable at this point. So I would definitely kind of skip him. And that's really about it. I mean, there's not much about this game that I can really think about. For this particular line, I probably have, I'd be probably going Cincy. So we have a question from Wilson, one of our ambassadors. Do I smash accept on this trade or stay put? I was offered Robert Woods for my Kenyon Drake. We'll get into Kenyon Drake in a few minutes. My running backs I have are Gibson, CEH, Carson, Damian Harris, and Drake. I'm not against that. Honestly, I think that might be a good move on your part, especially if you need a wide receiver. You seem to be okay at running back, and for the foreseeable future, it looks like Josh Jacobs is hurt. He will be out for Sunday's game, which we will get into. So Drake is the lead back, but they are saying that Peyton Barber will be leading that particular backfield. So I would be, Drake is, just good for, a flex here and there. So if people think he's going to be the starter, I would just, if you can do it, do it. And with that particular grouping of guys, with Gibson, CEH, Carson, and Damian Harris, I would do it. So Wilson, hit accept. Definitely take that trade. So next, we're going to go into the Houston at Cleveland game. Cleveland is favored by 12.5 points and a 48 over under. Houston had a really good week against a really poor Jacksonville defense. That's all we can really say about that particular game. The only guys that I'm starting this game for Houston are probably Cooks and maybe Ingram, but that's only if you have really no one else at running back. Ingram, had the 26 carries and, was out there the most. Okay, but at the end of the day, David Johnson or Phillip Lindsay might be the better option. I mean, they all scored in that particular game, so everyone kind of evened out. But at the same time, I would probably go with the pass catching back just because they might be down and, decide to start passing it. So I would definitely go with one of those options instead. Odell Beckham is out in this particular game, so someone that I would be looking for to pick up if you're looking for someone to stash on your bench for the short term is Peoples-Jones. Definitely take a look at him. He was second in snaps, but only had one target, unfortunately. I think they'll try to get him more involved, so we'll see what happens from that. So next, and then you're basically going to be you can start Mayfield, you can start Chubb, Hunt. Hunt will probably be a sneaky play in DFS. You're still starting Landry. There was another guy that they had as well. Let me double check my notes real quick. No, I don't have them listed. They have another guy that's on their team. Them boys, if you're watching, throw it up there. He's also someone that you can get. They did target him a few times. They also have Harrison Bryant and Austin Hooper and David Njoku. Those are all, good tight ends that they can use. So I would only start maybe one of the three, probably Njoku. So definitely check, if you need a streaming tight end, they're definitely one that you can probably find on the waivers. So yeah, that's all I really have about that game. I'm not really interested in that game. So there's not a lot going on. It's a really low over under. And, Cleveland's favored by 25.5 or not 25, 12.5. So that's pretty large. Next, we're going to go into the LA Rams at the Colts. The Rams are favored by 3.5 with a 48 point over under. Colts are coming off a big loss to the Seahawks. It looks like Darius Leonard did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, but was limited today. He's a real big part of that defense, so I would definitely keep an eye on that closer to game time. They definitely got burned downfield with the deep pass, which, as we saw with the Rams against the Bears, they have no problem throwing downfield. So guys like Van Jefferson are definitely flex options in really deep leagues. So definitely keep an eye on that. Stafford had a perfect passer rating last week against, the Chicago Bears. So that's, definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm playing Stafford in my league. I like having him on, my team. I'm definitely also playing Higbee, who did, he got 9 points, in my league. He did pretty mediocre considering, but at the same time, he got volume. He was on the field. I'm playing him. Rams defense. Thank you, Dim Boys. Anthony Shorts. There we go. Yes, you are correct. He had 5 targets compared to the 1 for Donovan Peoples Jones. So he's another guy that you can look at if you're not really on Peoples Jones, but they're just options just because they're playing a weak defense. If you need a little little help at wide receiver. So I'm playing guys like Cup for sure, Robert Woods, Higbee for the Rams. I like this matchup. I think that they're going to do fine. Rams defense did look great and is currently healthy. So, there's no one that's on their injury report like I actually said a couple minutes ago. I think the Indy line is a little bit banged up right now, so I know the Rams will take advantage of that. Unfortunately, you might have to start Jonathan Taylor. Is this for Higbee? If so, yes, that would be for full PPR. The league I have him in is just is half PPR. That's why I said 9. What up, Wilson? How you doing, buddy? I just answered your question above. Anthony had it out for me. So, that's for Schwartz. Okay, so that's not bad, or that's not bad at all. So, Wilson, to answer your question, yes, hit accept for Robert Woods. I would take that in a heartbeat. So definitely do that. You have plenty of depth. Go for it. Like I said, for the Colts, I'm definitely going to be starting Jonathan Taylor, unfortunately, just because you probably don't have better options. I'm also a little bit of a sneaky start that I think that might do well in this particular matchup is Nyheim Hines. Good. Hold on 1 second. We have another question. I have a bench spot open in my Superflex league, and I'm tilting on who I should pick up. Okay. And I'm going to need the options. So hopefully they give you options. Or if they're just looking for a solid option to pick up that might be on the waivers right now, it's based on the league size and how many players. Here we go. Rondale Moore, Elijah Moore, Terrence Marshall, Andy Dalton is sitting there as well, but I have 4 QBs, so I don't know if it's even worth it. No, I would not be taking a QB if you have 4. I'm assuming one of them is probably Justin Fields and the other is probably Trey Lance, which most people did if they had the opportunity. I'm going to be going Rondale Moore. I really, really love Terrace Marshall, but I'm going to be going Rondale Moore. He only got 20. I think he only had 20 snaps, and them boys agrees with me. But he was targeted on, I think, 12 of those. So I was right. You had Ben, Carr, and Lance and Fields. So yeah, I would definitely be going Rondale Moore. I would if you don't know how you feel about Rondale Moore, I would definitely go Terrace Marshall. I think both are great, but I think Rondale Moore is being better utilized. He's targeted on most of his routes. Terrence Marshall did pretty well considering he's playing a lot of slot as well, so he's not a bad option either. Both have good matchups moving forward, so I would go with either. If flip a coin, either one's good for me. So like I was saying, for the Colts and Rams, I'm going to be starting in probably one of my DFSs is Nyheim Hines. I think that he's going to be a good option just because the Rams are going to be I think their defense is going to, make it so that they're going to have to play from behind, which means they're going to throw it a little more. And as much as I would love to see Jonathan Taylor with more passes, I think that they're going to be targeting Nyheim Hines. They tended to do that last season. So I definitely see that happening. So I would definitely throw him in any of your DFS leagues. I'd even put him in as a flex spot if you have no better options. He's definitely someone I think that will have a good day. The other reason why I say that is because also Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman are both questionable as of Friday. They practiced Wednesday and Thursday, were on the injury report on Friday. And that's never a good sign when you progress in that particular way. Normally, we want to see limited to, full, or, nothing to limited, at least something going in a positive direction, not negative. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Thankfully, they play at 1:00, so you'll be able to make that decision early to know if they're active or inactive. But since they're hurt, it makes me want to play Nyheim Hines a little more. I would also possibly play Zach Pascal as well, because he's a pretty good option in that particular backfield. And if they're going to be throwing, that's who the ball is going to go to. So I was going to ask because I thought I'd have Ant here. So I had a question that I wanted to have answered, and that was Hines or Courtland Sutton, because both are really good matchups. But I don't know who to start, and I'm a little bit in between on either. But I might end up pulling the trigger on Hines and seeing how that goes to give Sutton, one more week to kind of ease his way back in. So kind of made my own decision there. Moving on, we're going to move to Buffalo at Miami. The Bills are favored by 3 with a 47.5 over under. So looks like Vegas thinks that. Wilson agrees with my thoughts on Hines. And the other reason why we like Rondale Moore is because Murray is just really good at throwing the ball. So that's a good reason. Okay. So Ant's right around the corner. Should be here soon. From what them boys thinks, Pascal will draw Ramsey if both are out. So Mike's draft. Wow, I never heard of him. Might be a sneaky play in that case. I do think they're going to both play, but it doesn't bode well that they were on the injury report late. I think during the game they just might be a little bit limited. So picking a guy that I'm not sure about, I wouldn't do. I would definitely stick more with Nyheim Hines than I would, and Pascal more than I would anyone else. They seem to be playing Jalen Ramsey more as like a safety in a nickel scenario, like in with the linebackers. I think they're doing that just because teams were not throwing to him and he wasn't involved and he couldn't do anything. And he's a stud. We all know that. So I think they're just trying to get him more involved and putting him in different spots so that he can kind of do his thing. So I wouldn't be so high on that at this point. I would really I wouldn't worry about Ramsey for the until you're facing bigger guys. Like if he's facing Kittle, I would think that they might put him on Kittle compared to most things. I think they have good corners, and I think that's why they're able to do that. And they have such a good pass rush that they're able to do something like that. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. So, like I said, Buffalo at Miami. They're already saying this is a low under. Oh wait, hold on. Another start. Sit. We got start one: Sutton, DJ Moore, or Bobby Trees. That's a good question. Sutton has the better matchup. Let me see about Moore. I don't mind playing DJ Moore just because right now Marshawn Lattimore is a game time decision. He just had surgery on his thumb, so that's not a bad move either. And it looks like, and normally with that particular Rams offense, it seems to go Cooper Kupp, then Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, then Robert Woods. They like to trade off sometimes. So I'm good with either one of those, to be honest. So this is a tough one. I'm going to go Sutton. Maybe he bounces back this week against Jacksonville. So I would go Sutton. See what happens there. Then boys goes with Bobby Trees. Hey, Drew. Me too, brother. Me too. I'm having a rough time dealing with it. It was a rough game to watch. My girlfriend yelled at me when when I saw the field goal missed, and then I saw the flag, and it was a bad day. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "They just missed the field." Anyway, also Debo or Antonio Brown. Oof. I might go Debo just because of the matchup. Let me double check mine because I'm rolling down these things. Oh, the Eagles. Yeah, I might go Debo. I don't mind AB, but like I said, both situations are horrible. So it's really this is a really bad week for that type of stuff. I know Ayuk's coming back from being in the quote unquote doghouse, so I know that's what's kind of making it harder for people to make that decision. But I would stick with Debo. He's probably your better option till he gets hurt. Dem Boys agrees with me. But yeah, I'm still coping there, Drew. I know I said this before, but I'm still coping. All right, so back to Buffalo and Miami. As we AB was super efficient, but not really a ton of snaps and targets. Yeah, it's tough. He, like Dem Boy says, he does fade in and out. I would definitely stick with Debo. Yeah, well, I think all of us will feel like that. Good. Yeah, I hope that helped. Debo is definitely to me a better option. Always stick with your stud. Okay, it's a bad quote to say, but stick with the guys that that are going to do well. Debo is going to do well. Just I would stick with him until further notice. Yeah, I felt like I got punched in the gut. It was not fun. That was and I was very upset after seeing multiple things, and Troy just I hate watching Troy and Buck. Anyway, back to Miami and, and Buffalo. There was news today that Will Fuller is out for this week and out indefinitely for now. Apparently, he's having personal reasons for why this is happening. Flores didn't really go into details. He basically stated that he would respect Fuller's privacy, and when he's ready to come back, they're ready for him. So that's good to hear. That will be good for Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker, who've been having good weeks, or at least one good week. So hopefully that can continue. I do have Devontae Parker in one of my leagues, and I hope that he continues to do well. We're also hearing that Zach Moss is healthy and back out there. So this kind of lowers Singletary a little bit, but still, we'll wait and see how that goes. Hopefully, it's not a late scratch for one of the two, but we'll see how that ends up turning out. Beasley is still a flex start. I would definitely be starting him if you don't have any better options. I think Gabriel Davis is hurt, and I think he's questionable at this point and had a very limited practice. So I would definitely be suiting up Cole Beasley, even Emmanuel Sanders, even though he's a little hurt. I would still think about doing one of them, or putting one of them in. Miami's, I know Miami's not favored at home. They have a really strong defense, so I think that this game might be a little close. I think I would be taking the under in this game, and the under, the over under is 47. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a defensive battle. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points. So we'll see. We'll see how that game goes. Next, we got the Patriots and the Jets. Pats are favored by 6 points, and the over under is 43. So this is the rookie QBs of the first round facing off. So this is going to be an exciting game. I do think the Pats, win this one. The Jets really do look very poor. Losing Mikhail Becton, he's a huge part of that particular offense, and it's going to be really tough losing him moving forward. I'm not going to play any of the the running backs. I think it's not worth your time. The only person I'm really playing, if at all, is Corey Davis and possibly Zach Wilson in Superflex, and that's only if you need to, and it's only because they're going to have to throw for a little bit. I do agree with Drew here. Damian Harris is going to have a hell of a game against a really weak defense. They didn't show me anything against Carolina, and Christian McCaffrey ran all over him, so I really do see a big game from Damian Harris as well. So start all your, start all those guys, for the Patriots. As Den Boy says, Jacoby and Davis are the only starts. Davis. Who do you? Oh, Corey Davis. I was like, who are you talking about? Yeah, Jacoby and Davis are definitely, big starts in this game. I'm not starting Nelson Aguilar and even Juju. I'd probably not start because he's questionable with the hip. And I would basically maybe go Hunter Henry if you need to flex a tight end. But other than that, Damian Harris, Corey Davis, Jacoby Myers. He looks really good. I've been a big fan of Jacoby Myers and hope he continues to do well. So definitely want to see that happening. Crowder and Cole are both questionable for the Jets. I'm not starting any one of them. I'm not starting Elijah Moore regardless. So we'll see. Wilson trying to sell Zach Moss. It ain't happening, brother. I will hit decline faster than you can imagine. Faster than my last trade that you tried getting me with. Oh, sorry about that. Need to clear the throat, clear the mind. But there's not much to talk about. Vegas is also thinking this is going to be a really low game. So, so for those who don't know, we have our listener league. Wilson is a part of that as well as Den Boys, and Wilson likes to send out trades for Zach Moss and for almost nothing or trying to get more than he should. It's quite fun, quite interesting, and I decline every single one of them. So I'm going to skip the one I was going to do here, and maybe Ian can do this when he gets back. But we're going to go to the Raiders and the Steelers. Steelers are favored by 6, and the over-under is 47.5. Yeah, I kind of agree with Wilson. He's just very good against rookie quarterbacks and rookie just led teams. We'll see how this game goes. I'm not really high on Corey Davis this week. He's the only viable guy that they have, but I would definitely, I would definitely be wary of this. If you have better options, I would look for it. But if they're going to be throwing a little bit, we'll see. That defense does do well against rookies, and I stupidly started Zach Wilson over Daniel Jones in the listener league, which is super flex. So I should have never done that. I was very upset with myself yesterday. So it was kind of a double whammy there, Drew. I had Daniel Jones and Shepard on my bench for a lot of my leagues, and I was very unhappy with myself. Anyway, Raiders at the Steelers, favored by 6, over under 47.5. Coming off a big win on Monday night, were the Raiders. That was a awesome game to watch if you didn't watch it. Darren Waller just hyper targeted 19 times. Unbelievable. I have him in my dynasty league. Love him. Traded Kittle. I had Darren Waller and Kittle, and I traded George Kittle because I was that confident in Darren Waller, the good old Walrus. So Pittsburgh's also coming off a win against Buffalo. Their defense looked really strong. They looked, they held Buffalo, even though Josh Allen had a decent day, they held him, to a really mediocre numbers. Right now, it looks like Josh Jacobs is out. Like I said before, he is out. Oh, I started Shepard everywhere I had him just because Martin told me not to. I mentioned in Martin's show on his on the Dynasty Pylon, I told him that Shepard was a good option. So I love Shepard. Love Shepard. Anyway, so apparently the news coming out is that Peyton Barber is reportedly the lead back out in Las Vegas. I find that very odd that they had, they paid Drake, they have him come in. We'll see. Peyton Barber was on the practice squad no more than a couple days ago. So, we'll see. He's not a bad back. I always liked him when he was in Tampa, and I thought he did well when he went to Washington. So we'll see how that goes. He's definitely built for the role. I would definitely tread lightly if you're going to, pick up Peyton Barber, but we'll see how that ends up turning out. They're probably going to use Drake like they did with Josh Jacobs in there anyway. So we'll see how that goes. You're definitely starting Najee. You're definitely starting Deontay. You're definitely starting Juju. You can even start Claypool if you'd like. I'd start everybody. Yeah, Wilson, I agree. This first week has been crazy. Week 2 can only get better. We'll see, man. Gruden is a character. He really is. It's hard to tell with Gruden. So we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be Drake too, just because of the money, and it just he's way better. Like he's 20 times better. So I definitely see it being Drake. So I wouldn't even touch Peyton Barber unless he has a really good game and he'll just be the big waiver target, waiver ad next week. So the Raiders pass rush, that pass rush looked phenomenal. Oh, look who we got coming in. I'm gonna brace for a second because I got my boy Rasta.
I made it. What up? What up? What up? Get right, world. I'm here. Did I at least make it before the afternoon games?
Yeah, oh yeah. You definitely made it. I saved your team, so I made it so that we didn't go over your team. Wanted you to be here to talk about it because I actually wanted your insight on this because of all the news that's coming out with that particular, with the 49ers. So I definitely wanted to do that. I was just talking about the Raiders and the Steelers. I was just talking about the Raiders, that pass rush. Look, they just look so good. Max Crosby, was getting at them. Oh, look at this. We got Brooks in the house.
What up, Brooks?
We got
that's the 7 rings, I believe.
It is.
What up? What up? What up?
We got
just getting home from the kids' game. Shout out to Rancho Mirage High, putting that stomping on Chaffee High.
Nice.
38 or 35-8. So it's a good game.
Yeah,
as I told you, the kid got hurt with like 39 seconds left in the game, and so that's what led to this delay here. So, but I'm glad to be here, man. It's Friday. We're talking football, and we're talking. You left it for me, huh? Niners.
I left that game just for you. Like I said, I was in the middle of the Raiders, but like I said, you're going to be starting all your Pittsburgh Steelers. You're definitely starting Darren Waller. You're maybe starting Derek Carr in Superflex leagues, but beyond that, you're pretty much sticking to the big guy out in Las Vegas. Hold on, we got a couple of things. Brooks going. I'm going to be picking up the Raiders kicker. I love Carlson.
Carlson, yeah, absolutely.
He's a great kicker. I like him a lot. Definitely worth an ad.
Oh, look at that. The green cup has my green screen on it. Check that out.
Oh, that's just because your settings. That's all. Remember when Kenyon Drake was the first round pick last year? Yeah, I do remember.
What up, Wilson? What up, Wilson?
We got Wilson saying what up.
What up? What up? All right, so I didn't mean to bring the show to a screeching halt. But
no, you're good, brother. We're gonna go right into it.
All
Oh,
right,
wait.
let's do it.
Hold on. We got one question. We'll jump into it. Raiders kicker. So David Carlson or Brandon McManus. Ooh,
Carlson.
Yeah, I would go Carl. Yeah, I'd go Carlson. Wait, who's playing indoors?
Carlson. He's playing in Vegas.
No, they're both
They're
playing
indoors.
outdoors. They're both outdoors. So
Doesn't the
go
Raiders?
Carlson.
I thought the Raiders' new stadium in Vegas closes.
It does, but they're playing in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Well, I just meant like overall. Was he?
Overall, if you're gonna go season long, I'm gonna say Carlson. If you're gonna go,
see, it just depends what mindset you're in when you see these questions come in. It's like, okay, are we talking this week? Or are we talking?
I'm thinking this week because for this week good. I'm gonna say Carlson. So
it is a week
either
two
way.
show. Yeah, it is a week two preview show. So we would have to assume that's what it is. All right, so let's get into it, man. So we got the Niners at Eagles. Of course, my Niners are favored by 3. I think was the last time when I checked it. I noticed the lines changed actually quite a bit from the time that you put them on, and then when I went in and updated them as well. So things are definitely moving. We have the over/under set at 49.5. So they're not expecting anything too crazy here, but definitely I would take the over on this. Just as a side note, I think this will definitely be, 2 good offenses. As I was saying before, my respect for Hurts is climbing through the roof at this point. To me, he's miles ahead. I think he's already almost a better passer than, dare I say it, Mr. Lamar Jackson.
For sure.
For whatever reason, and just the calm and cool he had. I know last week when I watched him run, I don't know if I mentioned this on the previous episode, but I saw him just run. He got a first down instead of getting up and doing all this stuff and getting everybody hyped up. He just literally tossed the ref the ball, went back to the huddle, jogged back, nothing showy, nothing taunty. And it just looks like he has kind of command of that offense. So obviously his issue is lack of weapons. So we'll see what happens when they meet, a talent like the Niners on defense there. But for me, you're kind of starting, most of the players that you drafted here. Most people drafted Hurts high. I'm starting him. We're starting Sanders in this game. I would as well. And on the Niners side, we're starting Debo. Question mark on Ayuk. I don't know if you got into that at all.
No, I didn't get to talk about it. I was waiting for you. I was gonna break all this down with Ayuk.
Yeah.
They're saying that he's gonna get a start. Get his start back because I guess he earned it back. They have Trey Sherman that's going to be active. So they got all these things coming together now. And so what do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, to me, it's like if you have better options, again, just depending on how your team's built, if you need to take the floor, then, play your Debos, play your Elijah Mitchells. You can do that. If you need a spark or you just don't have, other options, then you might have to play Ayuk and you might have to play, Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
He is going to be active. We know they want to use 2 backs anyway. So, again, we don't know what's going to happen in this backfield. So, you never know what can happen. You just know if they put somebody in there, they're going to produce. So, I don't know if that was any help. It's kind of hard to be, subjective on your team. I'm probably
what up, George? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm sitting Garoppolo and Lance, obviously, at this point. Obviously we're starting Kittle. Sure. It really comes down to that. And then they have the other kid, Suffield. He was even getting some run last week. So again, you never know what's going to go on in this offense. So if you have other better options, I would say play those until we kind of see what happens. It's only week 2. Otherwise, throw them in there and just live with the result.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of I was lucky.
Niners for sure.
Come on.
Don't even go there.
1980s Giants.
Get out of here with that.
Oh, come on. No, I do like the I like the Niners blackout ones that you guys wear. Yeah. Those are pretty sick. I enjoy those. Yeah. With Drew over here going to his app and dropping Blankenship. Oh, I don't know, man. Blankenship is pretty good. I like Carlson, but I like Blankenship a tad better.
Yeah, I have Blankenship, so I would definitely keep Blankenship over Carlson.
But I'm not against it. I think it's not a bad move, but I do think the Indy offense can move it a little bit better than the Raiders. So
yeah,
that's just my thing.
definitely. What's up, George? George LeBron, I think that's a new name. Shout out to you there. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. Hit those notifications so you guys know when we're live. Check out the description as well. We have our sleeper private channel there. Make sure you join that. We're talking football all day, every day on there. In addition here to the live show. So appreciate you, George. He's coming in here saying that Antonio Gibson has been disappearing so far. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. He's been having a rough couple days. They're still using him well, but they're not using him in the passing game like we all thought he would. They definitely kind of went off of him and went right to McKissick near the end of that game. So it was a little concerning if you're a Gibson owner. I own him in my points league that I am in. I was a little I was upset because he didn't do well. Giants are actually pretty good against the run, so I wasn't as disappointed just because I had low expectations to begin with. But hopefully they can get things together and he can do better moving forward.
Nice.
Wow.
I had a good conversation with FF season today.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was a lot of things. I think those Thursday games are a little wonky. First week he did have that little shoulder injury, so I don't think I think that's why we had such a big McKissick showing. So we'll see what happens after 10 days rest when they come back.
For sure.
If it's still kind of split like it was on Thursday, then that's when I'd start to kind of panic as far as that goes. But after 10, if he goes back to getting 21 carries and 4 or 5 targets, then we know that was just a Thursday night rotation. So that's where I'm at with that.
Fair.
I think this is what you were talking about. He's got the target 3.4 yards, easy to throw that far. But the thing is he was productive with it. So yeah, it is easy. And if you can't take that away because you are worried about the rush, and again, that's not even with great talent on the outside. So again, he's doing nice things. Football is very simple. It's just if you call the right offense to get against the right defense, or vice versa,
can't stop
it's as simple as that. And if you only need to throw 3.4 yards and you're putting up it was 38-6 or something like that. What's the point? I think it was like 38-6 or something like that. So
yeah. We got George with a question. He's wondering about Jacoby Myers, Marvin Jones, or Ayuk in the flex. For me, I'm taking Ayuk out of that equation, and I'm going to stick with Jacoby and/or Jones. And I think that
on three, 1, 2, 3, Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
definitely Jones. I like Jacoby Myers. Don't get me wrong. I really do like him, but Marvin Jones has the better matchup in the concept that they're going to be throwing. If New England goes up, they're not going to throw. They're going to continue to run the ball like they always do. So I'm a little bit higher. If that's your particular pick, I actually have that particular scenario in my league. I have Myers or Jones. I would probably go Jones just because of the matchup. It's just they're going to be throwing more. But no, not now that I think about it. No, now that I thought about it, yeah, I'm going to have to switch it. I'm going to go Myers. I just thought about it. I know. I'm tilting right on screen too. And the only reason why I'm saying now that I'm thinking about it is that the Denver corners are actually good shutdown guys. So I'm a little nervous about it. Now God damn it, I'm tilting right on screen. I'm gonna stick with Jones. Stick. I apologize.
You see the calm, cool, and collected over here?
Yeah, no.
We're good. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Another question. We got Wilson saying I traded Debo for Higgins. What you think?
I don't mind that. And the only reason why I don't mind that is because I don't trust Debo's production because of I don't agree with that. I just don't I don't see Debo lasting a full season. That's my problem. Do you agree with that?
Could be. Again, to me, those kind of guys are on the same tier for me. So to me, it's potato.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind either way.
Yeah, for
Obviously,
sure.
it's kind of. I mean, you typically want to sell high after 197 yard and one
Yeah, I
touchdown
would go
game.
for
I think you
someone a
probably.
little higher.
I mean, maybe you could get more, but
Yeah.
again, I think you just kind of. I don't think you lost. Like I don't think it was a
No.
bad issue. So,
No. You just went
um,
parallel.
yeah. George, welcome back. Another. Oh no, he already said that one.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
already got that one.
There we go.
We're going all the way down to.
You said trade Gibson for Montgomery. Yeah, you can try. I don't know if that'll happen, but you might be able to after this second game. Just
Yeah.
like I was saying, because of that Thursday, I don't think they gave him the full workload coming off the shoulder.
Yeah.
Short week, new quarterback. There's just a lot of stuff there. Again, and that's why you shouldn't have started. Well, I don't want to say shouldn't have started Scary Terry. I mean, start your studs.
Oh no. Yeah.
For the
I
most
already
part, yeah.
I already apologized.
That was a tough call. I think
that I told.
a lot of people were wrong on that one, so don't feel bad
Yeah.
if you did sit him. So everything there was saying sit him. Let's see. So Drew Loro, new subscriber or new person here. Hopefully a new subscriber. Smash that subscribe button if you can for us. We got your question here. Would y'all trade away A-Rob and AB for Waller? If you have the wide receiver depth,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you have better than that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The positional advantage you get with that, a guy getting 19 targets. I don't even think A-Rob and AB combined for 19 targets in week 1 together. So I would definitely take that trade. You can pick up, other people in a, off the waiver wire, wide receivers that can, have a good week for you here and there. If you need to, stream that wide receiver 3, I'd rather have Waller just set in that spot. So,
oh, for sure.
Absolutely. So smash that trade button or send that offer. Get it done. Let's see. And Dimboys is agreeing with that. And I think he doubled down on it as well.
Yeah. George is agreeing with the Myers. It's
so
really just because
Myers
of the corners. That's my thing. The corners are better.
We just saw what happened with Scary Terry and Bradbury. So again,
yeah, you can't always go with that matchup. Yeah.
Right. So start your stud. I think you drafted Jones ahead of Myers. To me, he's higher on the tier. I mean, Myers picked up steam late. So
yeah, but Myers is the only guy compared to Jones who has Chenault and Chark. So that's my only thing. Yeah.
DK, did we talk about? I think we're going to get into Seattle here too. So for that type of question, we'll save that one, George. Not that we're ignoring you, but we'll definitely break that down when we get to that Seattle game.
Yeah, I think it's next.
Okay, cool. Myers is that possession guy. Get 3 down.
Couple more.
Scripted. All right, so 100%. Yeah, everybody's pretty much saying make that trade. He's asking, will Metcalf have again? So let's jump into that game. Let's just jump to
it. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom.
What they want. Let's give them what they want. All right, so Titans Seahawks. We have Seahawks favored by 6, a 54-point over under. I think basically when you hear that, George, I would say yes, considering this should be a fireworks type game. 2 not so great defenses. Apparently, should be 2 potent offenses. We'll see if the Titans can get their stuff together this week. But to me, this just has fireworks written all over it. And then, of course, after seeing the 54-point over under with the Seahawks favored by 6, I'd say DK'd have to get a piece of that. So,
for sure.
Yeah, go ahead and get it.
And it's a weak secondary. And if you look at what Drew just said, and this was for the Waller question that we had.
Okay.
He has Lockett, Debo, Myers, and Kirk. Now,
yeah, I would make that trade. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I might, if I was the one doing it, I might throw somebody else. Other than who was the other guy? It had A-Rob and AB. Yeah.
I mean, you can keep A-Rob, keep him obviously. If you can get any of those other guys in that trade first, but if that's
I was going to say throw Debo in there. I would say Debo and AB for Waller if you can do that. If they won't do it, then go to A-Rob.
Right.
At least try to sell low first, and then if you have to sell high, but I would definitely start with Debo and AB and then see what they do, because at least you have the big game from Debo to go off of, and someone might bite on that if they agree with you. But A-Rob, it's tough because I don't like his situation until Fields gets in. So, and I know he does well with bad quarterbacks and all. But
I stand corrected, then, boys. I stand corrected.
Yeah, I drafted Myers, I think, ahead of Jones too.
You guys were drinking that juice towards the end, huh? You like that?
Yeah, man. I liked Myers to begin with. I mean, no, I definitely drafted Jones ahead of Myers, I think, because I think I had Myers in like my latest round because no one was thinking about him in my league. But that's just because they don't know anything.
Yeah. See, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
If he countered, I would accept it. If he countered with that offer.
Yeah.
With A-Rob and AB.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I mean, you might technically lose because those two guys will probably outproduce Waller, but as far as your positional advantage goes, you're gaining so much advantage there. That's pretty much if you weren't going with one of those three guys, if you can trade for one, you win that side every time.
Well, I do have one question for Drew if you want to answer it. Who is your tight end to begin with? Like, who is your current tight end? I'm kind of curious. Yeah.
I mean, if it's not if it's not Kittle or Kelsey, then
okay. But I'm saying even if it's or a tier
Hawkinson.
up, yeah. I mean, if no,
that's not him.
Oh, that's a different question.
So we'll wait for him to respawn. He's on a. Oh, here we go. Hey, that's hilarious. Them boys called it, by the way.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say Higbee either way for that particular question.
But I'm not gonna from Alan. Shout out to Alan. My bad. I didn't.
What up, Alan? How you doing, man?
What's up, Alan? Alan Gardner here, asking Kyle Pitts or Tyler Higbee this week.
I'm sorry. I'm not. You're not going to get me to say Pitts until I see something, and Higbee just looks fantastic. So we're going with Higbee.
There it is. I'd have to agree. Not a big Atlanta Falcons fan here, Mr. Allen. You're new to the show here. Allen pretty much cost me a lot of games last year, and so I wasn't touching him this year. And then this guy Mike, I had him outside his top 12 for tight ends. So
yes,
I apologize. You came to the wrong show for Pitt's love here. It's not that we hate him. It's definitely not that we hate him. It's just we're more realistic about the expectation on what a rookie tight end production could be. So that's all that is. So anyway, you want to break down this Titans Seahawks game any more than that? Or
yeah, I mean, this is the Seahawks got steamrolled by Indy. Or sorry, the Seahawks steamrolled Indy, and they were a good defense. I mean, I don't know. I really do. I think that the Seahawks are going to just have a day against the Titans. They have a really weak defense. Seattle didn't look any better, but they still did tons better than most people did. So I definitely see a big day for Russell Wilson. You could still probably have a decent day from Ryan Tannehill. Hopefully Derrick Henry bounces back. So, we have that question from George that I keep seeing. I see that. Should I trade away Josh Allen? My question is who are you trading for? And the only reason why I asked that is because, yes, I know he had a poor...
for Kyler, then yes. Yes.
Yeah. Like, if you're trying to trade away Josh Allen, if you're trying to trade Josh Allen for anyone less than Kyler, it's not worth it. So I would kind of keep him around. I know he had a poor game against the Steelers, but that doesn't mean he's going to have a poor game for the rest of the year. A lot of these guys take a minute to get going. And
he is young, so give him a second. It's not Brady coming off his 25th year just throwing for
he didn't
400 yards.
He didn't play at all during the preseason, so a lot of these guys are just trying to get into it.
But when he did, though, he looked amazing, and so I understand why he's even asking this question is because he didn't look that amazing when he was in there for the whole game. So he's definitely a guy, though. You drafted him with pretty high draft capital, I'm pretty sure. To get one of those kind of guys. So I think you have to give him more than 1 week. So
yeah, I agree.
Maybe start somebody else over him if you're not feeling it. If you have another option in a 1 QB, maybe you can do that. But otherwise you're definitely holding them. I mean, again, unless you can get a steal or get Mahomes, throw another piece with him and get Mahomes or something like that. Otherwise, hold on to him.
Yeah, I agree.
And Dim Boy's kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Same thing. I should just defer to Dim Boys. He's our honorary Get Right analyst here in the chat, breaking it down. So Alan comes in with a question at Flex PPR this week: Mike Williams, Melvin Gordon, or Brandon Cooks?
Honestly, they're all not horrible options. Cooks is probably the only person from the Texans I would play.
I beg to differ.
I know, but I'm sorry, man. You have to watch that game and see what I saw. And Cooks looked good, and Tyrod looked good, but that's going against a really crappy Jacksonville defense.
Yes.
So it is what it is. But Mike Williams going against, they're going against the Cowboys, and sorry, them boys, but that Cowboys secondary is weak. I have no problem with Mike Williams. They also lost. We're going to get into them in a few minutes, but they lost Randy Gregory, they lost Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence on the outsides, so they're going to have no pass rush. So I would probably it's to me it's between Mike Williams and Melvin Gordon. I'm kind of leading Gordon just because I like the Jacksonville matchup. That's because they're just gonna be up and they're gonna run. So that's just my opinion with Melvin Gordon. So I'm gonna stick with Gordon.
There you go. And I'm gonna split the difference with you. I'm gonna go Williams on that. That's just where I'm at. So them boys agrees with me. There we go. George LeBron says, rate my team: Josh Allen, Taylor, Gibson, Woods, DK, Logan Thomas, Myers, and a full PPR.
Damn.
Yeah, I like that team. Is that a 10,
I like it.
10 team? If it's 12 team, that's even better. I don't think it's 12 because I don't think you can get Taylor, Gibson, and DK unless that was your first, second, and third pick. I guess that's not bad. Depending on how that falls.
I would go a solid A-.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it just
it's a nice score.
Oh, for sure. I love Taylor. I like Gibson. Yeah, it's 10 team.
Yeah, 10
so
team. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. For a 10 team, that's probably an A+.
We've done it. We've done enough mock drafts to be able to just tell by the way a team's constructed to.
Yeah, for sure.
No, what I was about to say, and he probably drafted. All right, so what pick do you think he did? Let's see if we are that good. So if he got Gibson,
he probably
Taylor, Gibson, and Woods,
second.
I'd say he was anywhere between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
Taylor
I was gonna go 8. I was gonna say 8.
Well, that's literally right in between my 7 and 9.
I know. I'm just picking
George,
8.
Tell us what draft pick you had in that draft, in that 10-team draft.
Yeah,
all
I'm kind of curious.
So, let's see.
Wilson
saying, yeah,
come on.
Of course you tried. I agree. Dallas secondary sucks. He agrees. He had a horrible week 1 with Ayuk in there. Yeah.
That's a lot of people did.
Everybody did. Yeah. That's tough.
Oh, he had 10.
Oh, right outside. So he was right outside of it.
Damn. Thought he had 8.
Wow, that's pretty nice that Taylor fell to 10. I mean, I guess.
Ooh, this is a good question from Alan. So Josh Jacobs with Jacobs out, Darrell Henderson or Eli Mitchell. This is actually a really good question. I'm gonna probably stick with Darrell Henderson. It's just he has more opportunity to do well than Eli in that offense. So
it's a tough call, man, because my heart wants to say
I know you want. I can see it in your face. I can see it in your face.
I'm literally like, I have to go to my rankings right now and actually check that one because that one's kind of close for me. Because
Henderson looked good against Chicago. That's what's making me. He looked real good. Elijah Mitchell looked good too. But they're going to be sharing that backfield.
Yeah, and he's going up against that Indy defense. Again, we don't know what the splits are going to be. I think if you need the floor, I would go with Henderson. If you're going for upside, I go Mitchell. So there's my answer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, right now, like I said in the beginning, Darius Leonard is questionable. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I agree with them boys. I do not trust Kyle Shanahan with that. I just don't. It's a tough offense. They definitely do. Just they spread the ball around to everybody. There's going to be Hasty involved. There's going to be, Trey Sherman. Everyone's going to be involved there. In LA, it's just Henderson and Sony Michel. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have the 2 backs compared to the 3, being interchanged. So, yes. Absolutely. Yes, just do it. Ricardo Blankenship is awesome. Take him.
I mean, unless you have like Tucker or
and they're playing indoors. Take it. Just automatic. Any kicker that is playing indoors, just if they're on waivers, take them. I'm sorry. That's just how you should go about it. If you're streaming kickers, if that guy's available and he's indoors, play them. You know, I can't be any clearer with that. It's just it always works out. Yeah.
Let's have Tucker.
Well, yeah.
That guy can kick in rain, sleet, or snow. Yeah. Well, he's in a dome too, so he would qualify under the.
Yeah, but he plays well. He's still a good kicker. I don't care.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So where were we? I love it, man. Really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys. Show, yeah, man. I love this. Yeah.
Shooting these questions out here. You know, we'll take a whole show of questions instead of getting into these games. You know, we can do that anytime. We're here to help you guys out. You know, that's what we're here for. So while they got some more questions coming up, what's the next game you want to get into?
New Orleans
at Carolina. So we got New Orleans favored by 3. We have a 44.5 point over under. So they're not expecting, 2 points, or too many points, but it's pretty healthy scoring. So what are you thinking here with this game?
So last week we saw Jameis Winston with 148 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is unheard of. I don't think it's ever done. Carolina, they were just coming off a really easy win against the Jets. So, you're definitely going to be starting all the, the normal guys for the Carolina offense. You're starting McCaffrey. You're starting DJ Moore. You're starting Robbie Anderson. You could even probably start Terrence Marshall. He looked really good. He was targeted on a lot of plays, a lot of routes. He's definitely worth the ad. The Saints defense did really well against the Packers. They did lose Marcus Lattimore, but he is coming back. Or Marshawn Lattimore, sorry. He's coming back from he's a game time decision, so you will have to wait and see. If he's out, I would start everybody on wide receiver. But if he's in, it's kind of in between, because if he's on DJ Moore, that's going to be a little bit of a tough matchup for him. He is a true shutdown corner. They also have Davenport out, so they might not have as good of a pass rush as they did last week, but still a good pass rush regardless. Their defense definitely bailed them out last week compared to the offense. Just because the only reason why Jameis Winston would have so little yardage is because they got the ball in such good spots. So it's definitely the defense there. So who are you starting in this particular game?
I mean, you're probably starting Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, more where you drafted him. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably start. I mean, again, super flex. You might be starting Winston here in this game. I don't know. It's kind of tough. Obviously Kamara, those guys are starting.
Yeah, you have to start Kamara.
The ones, that are question are the, Marquez Callaways. He had a, not such a big game last week.
Mm-hmm. You start Juwan Johnson.
You didn't draft him. I wouldn't start Juwan Johnson yet. I do have him in a deeper league. Again, 3 targets, 2 of those were touchdowns. I don't know how much you could read into that. I think Trotman was in, over 80% of the snaps last week.
Yes.
And I think he ran a lot more routes.
He did.
Blew him out of the water. So
yeah, he was in for a lot of plays.
Again, it's just one of those crazy game script games. So you can't read too much into that, except for, again, the time. If he's on the field, things are going to happen. So I'm definitely watching him there. I don't know if Troutman's worth a start yet, but
no, not yet.
I think he's just, the guy to add, unless this guy just keeps getting it. He could be the Lindell White of tight ends. So, so that's kind of where I'm at. Did I miss anybody there? We're not starting any Carolina tight ends at this point.
No, you can't stand Darnold. You can't stand. Yeah, sorry, you can't.
No, you're
Sam Darnold either.
And I think Marshall, he's still a whole.
I'm high on Marshall.
I mean, I just want to see what he does. I don't think he's worth a start. It's encouraging that he did have 6 targets last week, but again, it was only 3 catches, 26 yards. So
14-team league, you're playing him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, 14 team. If you're in one of those kind of leagues, you probably have to throw him in there. But again, if you're playing a 2 in a flex, I don't think he's quite flex worthy yet. Of course, if you have to, you have to. But I think there's other options out there. So
So
yeah,
we
that's where I'm at.
actually have a question from, it looks like, from C. He says full PPR received the trade offer, giving Amari Cooper and Brandon Cooks, receiving Calvin Ridley and Sterling Shepard.
Keep Cooper.
Yeah,
I don't trust Allen. It's going to be too up and down. He'll have his weeks. Ridley will definitely have his weeks. But just remember, he doesn't have Julio Jones over there now. So
this is such an even trade to me.
Really, I like the Cooper side better.
Well, I'm thinking in the context that Shepard and Cooks are on the same tier, and so are in some ways Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley. They didn't bode well last week, so I think that whoever's offering you this particular trade is trying to, in this particular case, I guess they're upselling, because it's just really odd to see that you're trying to sell someone that did very poorly and someone that did very well for someone that did really well and okay. Like, I know what they're trying to do. It looks like more of a trap than anything, but I would definitely keep Cooper and Cooks. I agree with you.
There is the injury risk, so maybe that's why he's contemplating it. But again, all kind of 4 of these guys are kind of known for being a little on the injury prone side. Maybe Ridley being the healthiest one there. So
yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
I don't feel
Thanks, Wilson.
bad. I don't feel so bad that we lost him. Yeah, that's a Wilson Schefter right there. Let's see. Zeke played fine. He'll get more usage this week. Yeah, Zeke's fine. I mean, it just wasn't in the game script. You can't run against Tampa Bay. If you try to give the ball and run 20 times for -1 yard per carry, it doesn't make sense. So
yeah, I agree.
Got to throw the ball. I'd say it's pretty much completely lateral trade, really just up to your personal preference. Yeah.
It's based on who you like, like
everybody.
Yeah.
Allen, he's going to spread the ball all over, man. We all know Brady doesn't lock on to anybody. He's going to take what the defense gives him. I would even be shocked if Scotty Miller had a 2 touchdown, 80 yards, on 4 catches, next week, just because that's what Brady does. So, you got to start Mike Evans, and you just got to be able to live with the result. So
this is a tough question.
Actually, George, I don't know. I think you might have actually asked that earlier.
We might
have missed it there. So I'm glad you came back to it. As soon as I saw it, I remembered.
This is so tough.
It's basically the same thing. Do you start Evans or Godwin or Antonio Brown? To me, it's the same thing. You're firing these guys up based on where you drafted them, and they're going to usually have good matchups. They have a good quarterback. It's just the only thing is to me, if I can trade these guys, I would probably try to trade Bobby Trees. I would, because their defense is so good. They're not really going to be throwing too much here. And, to me, again, I think if I can trade Woods or Cup, I would try.
Yeah, me too.
If I'm keeping these guys, I'm keeping Cup, especially after hearing that whole thing about how they have breakfast together and all that all stuff. Yeah. Definitely, I'm definitely buying into that kind of stuff. I think that stuff is actually important.
For sure.
But really, to me, they are kind of the same guy. To me, they're just kind of like Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. They're just 1A, 1B. They're both top, 15 kind of guys.
And
top
then throw Higbee and Van Jefferson in there. So yeah,
right. And then
I would try to trade Woods if you can.
Yeah, definitely. But again, and by trade them, I mean, we're not saying give them away. So don't get us wrong. We're not saying like, oh, the sky's falling. I mean, they're still solid wide receiver twos.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's asking,
just don't. He's asking below. One. Yeah.
He's asking below. He's asking what wide receivers can you get for Woods, and honestly,
it's hard to trade straight up for straight up to me. It's just the weirdest trades. You have to kind of package, something with Woods.
You might have to package one of your, weaker running backs that have some value to kind of get somebody if you're looking to upgrade at wide receiver and not have Woods. It's very tough having the same 2 guys from the same team, especially guys like Woods and Cup on your particular team. You can technically play them all year and be okay. Like last year, I played Higgins and Boyd, and they did fine. If you do Gibson and Woods, you're then expecting somebody like Kamara or CMC.
I don't know about that high.
Well, I'm saying you're expecting in a higher tier. You're looking for,
maybe you can go get Henry depending on how big of a Henry fan.
That might be a better
he's coming
option.
off a low week. So
I'm just saying
you can throw that out there, but you might have to go 3 for 1 if you want.
Yeah, and if you're looking to give Gibson away, that's tough, man. If you're really looking to trade, go for it. But I like to wait for trades to kind of let everything kind of pan out a little bit. We still have a lot of football to go. We got another, 16 weeks. We got plenty of time to see what happens, and even for fantasy, we still got another 15 weeks. So, definitely see what you can do. George is asking again about Ayuk. Honestly,
not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Yeah, you can't trust him. I won't play him.
He came off a 0-point game, so
yeah, you're gonna keep him on your bench, and you're gonna see what happens. Yeah. You can't give him away though. Don't drop him. He's not someone you're dropping. He's someone you're just keeping. Yeah. So 7 rings is going. Oh, Brooks. Sorry, I'm offering Brooks to get Amari Lamb, both of them.
Yeah, okay. See, that's the kind of thing you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
That's what you want to do with Gibson, George. Gibson and Woods, go for something like that.
Maybe a little higher than Laviska.
Well, I was going to say, because you have Gibson, it's way better than Tyson and Vishka, so you should be able to get, somebody better than Amari and Lamb. Like, again, maybe go to the Devontae Adams owner and see if maybe they're any down on them, So you have 2 good pieces there.
Maybe they need a running back.
Try to turn that into a top 3 guy.
Actually, the other person to look for is probably the guy that has Kelsey or Hill, because more than likely they went in the first round, so they probably don't have as good of a running back depth than most people. So I would definitely target those guys and see how their teams are built. And if they don't have those top guys, I would definitely think about that. Yeah.
But again, to me, it's tough. And again, I just want to go back to the whole Devontae Adams thing. If you're giving away Gibson and Woods, you better have 2 solid running backs. If not, you're trying to target a top 10 running back, or to me, like top 7 running back if you're giving away Gibson and Woods. So anyway, I think we spent a lot of time on that one, but you guys get the idea there. And and this is what I mean. It's just a lateral trade. So I mean, you're not selling high. So
yeah, I'd probably keep Woods.
I'd keep Woods. Yeah.
I keep Woods just because of the health issues with Debo.
You're just kind of trading stuff around. Yeah. I mean, but it is. It's because it's lateral. It's just, what do you think is going to happen, or injury or whatever. So anyway,
for sure.
All right. Cool. No, that's great. Keep the questions coming, guys. We appreciate it. We try not to go too long here. I know you got to get going here soon.
No, you're
Mike.
good, brother.
I'm good. So, let's see.
Yeah, let's break down Broncos in Jacksonville.
All right. So Broncos Jacksonville. We got Broncos favored by 6. We have a 45-point over under. Obviously Judy's out, but I'll let you get into this one. What you thinking here with Broncos at Jacksonville?
Yeah, I mean, Broncos did really well against the Giants. They had a really good defense. As you said, Judy's out with a high ankle sprain. That's going to be a 3 to 5 week type thing. I honestly, I texted people when I saw the injury. I thought for sure he broke that ankle. Like, it looked bad.
Oh yeah,
got defender landed right on it. I thought it was gone. I was like, oh, season done. I let people know in our chat, in our channel as soon as possible, because I'm the big Giants guy. I'm always there. They definitely, and as C said right here, they definitely do have a really easy schedule. So they definitely do. I'm definitely starting Gordon, Sutton. Tim Patrick is another guy a little bit deeper. I would definitely, start even KJ Hamler. Any of those wide receiving options, I would definitely be going into for Denver. The biggest question for this particular game is James Robinson. Now, he was probably the biggest question mark in this particular for this matchup. He's the biggest question. Robinson had 6.
Sorry, that's brutal.
No. Versing Ty. Ooh,
Hey, just going against
yeah.
Tyreek
Sorry,
is
brother.
brutal. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
chalk that
you might do well against Devontae,
if
but
you scrape up against scrape up a win out of this one, man, let us know. Come back
so
on Monday and let us know how it's going.
yeah, for sure.
We're on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, man. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Hit that subscribe button. Let us know how that works out.
and the occasional Thursday. Anyway,
Yeah, coming
and
soon.
coming soon. So I actually faced my brother last week, having Cooper, Amari Cooper, Tyreek Hill, and Cooper Cup, and I felt bad for him because I had 203 points with Waller as well. So I had a lot of good options last week. Anyway, so back to Jacksonville and the Broncos. James Robinson is probably the biggest question mark for me. He played 60% of the snaps, which is probably the highest for the team. Hyde only played 40%, but at the same time, yes, I understand he did have less rushing attempts, but they were behind. He did have 6 targets. He caught 3 of them. He did pretty well, and that's the only thing that really kept him up, for that particular game. So I wouldn't read into this right now. I would wait to see what happens with James Robinson. I would hold. I wouldn't drop him. If you have better options, maybe play them, just because you're unsure of what he might do this week. But if you have no other better options, I would stick to your guns and play Robinson just to see what happens. But I definitely don't recommend it. I have him in one of my leagues, and I'm a little bit unsure. I should have probably benched him and played, Sterling Shepard as my quote unquote flex, which I wouldn't put in my flex. I would put in my starting lineup. But I would have definitely had a thing. I might just, wait till next week with him to see what happens. But he definitely, he's a big question mark for this particular team right now. The wide receivers aren't all those people, Chenault, Jones, and Chark. They're all good options because the team looks like they're going to be throwing a lot, because they're going to be down. So I like Jones more than all of them. I know that Chark had a better, day just because he got 3 long passes. But Jones, was targeted more, and yeah, he got a garbage time touchdown, but at the same time, that still helped your week. Even without it, he still did well. So I like Jones a little bit more. They use Chenault more as the Joker player. He'll definitely get touches, but I definitely like Jones more.
Nice.
What do you think?
I just want to go back to the whole James Robinson thing. I have him outside my top 24 this week. So,
oh wow,
it's tough just because again the usage with high. It was just again it was a weird game. I think they got behind in game script, and the thing that made James Robinson so good last year was the fact that he was still getting 20 carries even when there was negative game script. They were still adamant on keeping their offense balanced. Whereas Urban Meyer doesn't seem like he knows exactly what he's doing over there. And again, I hate to say that. I'm just a guy here in my studio.
But you see it
having a friendly podcast here. But to me, whoa, knocking my camera over. But to me, it's you just again, it's evident. It just looks like he's adjusting to the speed of the game. It seems like so. I kind of have James Robinson in a hold, right now. I don't think you can trade him off. Just again, who are you going to trade him for? He still is going to have opportunities in the offense, but again, it's a young core. Again, Robinson is his second year, undrafted free agent. We have obviously Trey Law over there. We have Chenault in his second year. Chark is still really young. And, the most experienced guy over there is Marvin Jones. And I think that's why he's been so solid and kind of the only consistent thing that's been there is because he's been there, done that. So I think it's going to take time. Just remember, guys, we are in week 2. Let's not overreact to things. Let's not get too cute.
I agree.
We did all the research, pre-draft. Obviously, we can't be, get off my lawn and not be willing to change. But at the same time, stick with your core and, understand where and why you drafted these guys. And again, we can't overreact too much, really break down, those games, and those players in question. But to me, I just have 24. I mean, he's at 25, so it's not like he's way outside my top 24. There's just 24 other guys I'd rather start this week than him.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. He's still a viable person, but it's hard to start him unless you have better options. And like I said, I had Gaskins and I have Gaskins and Joe Mixon with him as well. And I should have pivoted and changed up what I did and put in Sterling Shepard. But I wasn't thinking. I thought the Washington D would hold down things a little more and get a little more pressure than they did, and I wasn't expecting that. So that was my poor decision. I was looking at this before when you were talking, and this is another one of those trades that we were just talking about, that it's very lateral, in my opinion. Tyler Lockett is a top receiver that people are sleeping on in a lot of ways. And I do like Brandon Cooks as well. AJ Brown is still tough it's hard to decipher.
Hold on. Who? I think it's
AJ
Mr.
Brown.
Arthur Juan to you. Classic.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus. Arthur Juan. Anyway, so AJ Brown and Chenault, to me, isn't a bad option. Like, I wouldn't mind having AJ Brown and Chenault, but with all these particular players have really ridiculous storylines that make this really hard to pick. I'm guessing you would go AJ Brown and Chenault, and that's only because you don't like Cooks. So I'm
not only because.
Well, and
I just think whoever gets the better player in the trade wins 9.5 times out of 10. I think AJ Brown's the best player out of all these guys. It's your.
I was leaning
2
AJ
for 2. It's your typical 1 and 4 for 2 and 3. I mean, that's okay. It's one of those trades. So you know. And I'm sure you guys, I don't need to break that down. You guys understand what that means.
No, we're good with that.
To me, it's a good trade. I'll take 1 and 4 all day, because usually I'm trying to improve my starters.
Yeah.
AJ Brown would come in and start over Lockett or Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks was probably on his bench, so he's basically upgrading AJ Brown to Tyler Lockett, or upgrading Tyler Lockett into AJ Brown. And instead of having Cooks on your bench, you now have Chenault, which doesn't make a difference because you don't get points from your bench unless you're playing a best ball league. So,
yeah, fair.
AJ Brown all day. Anyway, moving on.
We got Ryan over here.
Unless you wanted to talk about it more. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
You traded Joe Mixon and Daniel.
What up, Ryan? How's everything going? You traded Joe Mixon and Debo for Calvin and Cooper. Who won? That's a good question, brother.
God. That is a great question. And welcome back, Ryan. I think we had Ryan on Wednesday night, so welcome back, man. Appreciate that for supporting the channel here. This is a crazy trade, man. This messes with my heart.
Ooh, honestly, for me, I wish you kept Joe Mixon. If I was on that show, I'd tell you don't do it. But
I don't think he asked us this question, but
no, but I don't want to say that you should regret it, because you did get Ridley and Cooper out of that, and I don't think that's a bad move, especially if you have other options at running back.
Up. If you look at pre-draft,
you definitely traded up. No, he definitely traded up. Yeah.
And the only thing is you probably drafted Joe Mixon with your second or third pick, so you probably could have had Calvin with that pick if you wanted him. So to me, it's just one of those interesting kind of things. Like
for me, this is exactly what you just talked about: the 1 and 4 and the 2 and 3. This is Mixon and Debo is 1 and 4,
right?
And Calvin Ridley and Cooper are 2 and 3.
I mean,
in my opinion,
I like it more in PPR.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's probably what it is. But yeah, that's tough. But I mean, he definitely sold high. I mean, I like because he sold Debo high. So
this is why he was okay with trading it, is because they only start 1 RB. So I understand that.
League. Okay, that's right. Okay, Ryan. Yeah.
Okay, so then you did win that particular trade. I'm okay with that. So
nice. So C was liking his breakdown of his question. So we appreciate that. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that like button. We've had, I think, a couple people in here. So if you're in here, hit that like button for us. It really helps us out here.
Wow. You got you got Mixon that late? Wow. Good for you.
211. Really was taken at the 2-1. Okay, so yeah, I mean, he traded up on both sides. And again, it's a 1 RB league, so that's a little different, which I like.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, congrats getting Mixon that late, man, because
it's not that late. I mean, it is. It's kind of
because
he was pretty late.
He was going second.
Usually he's going on that 2
run. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. 2-11.
And that's a 12 team, so he was going all the way back to almost 1. I mean, I would have if I was in that league and I was anywhere in that 4 to 12 spot, I'm picking Mixon, and I like
especially
Mixon
because it's 1 RB, and I think it's like 2 or 3 wide receivers, and then it's like a flex too. So PPR, so wide receiver, it's like wide receiver heavy. So that's why he fell that late.
No, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
that's Yeah, now that I know a little bit more, then I'm good with the Ridley side for sure.
Nice. All right, cool. Well, keep the questions coming, man. We really appreciate the interaction, you guys. Really appreciate it. Again, let's get at it. What's the next game?
Vikings Cardinals.
All right, Vikings Cardinals. Pretty simple here. We have Cardinals favored by 3.5, a 51-point over under. So there's definitely going to be points scored in this game. You're starting, guys. Just be wary of Chandler Jones, man. That guy was on a craziness. Oh yeah,
Ryan, that is incredible. I've never seen a league built like that. That's insane.
It was crazy.
Good for you. Then you definitely went out on that. So good for you.
Absolutely.
That's a good trade.
Absolutely.
So yeah, as you were saying, watch out for Chandler Jones. No, be wary of Chandler Jones. Having 5 sacks on his own. I'm trying to remember if there were other teams that are out there this week that had 5 sacks, and I don't think they did. And I think the team had 6 altogether. Since he had 3 sacks that they had against Cousins, I think that they're really weak at their O-line. So this is definitely, I'm playing the Cardinals defense this week. I know that DSTs aren't really talked about that much, but I went and got them on waivers to make sure that I had them. I know that a lot of people don't use that particular strategy because getting a defense is kind of why. But I like my particular strategy in a lot of particular scenarios is I don't mind using if I have one spot that I can do and I can take over all the other waiver claims of things like the defenses and other people, I do that. And the only reason why I do that is because I know somebody in my particular league that we use Yahoo, and it's a 4:00 turnover. So he likes to get up at 4 a.m. and start picking up all these people. And I like to make sure that I can have the ability to block him from doing that at 4 a.m. Before waivers go through. So that's just my own little strategy that I like to do. But at the same time, I didn't mind getting Arizona's defense. I also do not like playing a defense against my offensive players. It's a weird little thing, and everyone asks me why I do this. It's a weird scenario, so it's not for everyone. But for me, the view is off that first and fourth touchdown or third touchdown, it's really tough because you're losing the points that are scored against you. So if I have Diggs going against Miami,
like a watch,
and it's worse than a watch because you're losing 3 points from it. So for me, and Brooks is asking the question, Cardinals defense or the Browns. That's a good question. Both of them are really good defenses to play this week. In this particular matchup, let me see. We got Cleveland going against, who are they going against this week? They're going against Houston. Yeah, I might go Cleveland.
I'd go Cleveland. Lower over under and
I would go Cleveland just because it's just like you said. But either way, in this particular scenario, I'd rather play a different defense if I could. So I don't mind spending a waiver pick. And for me, in my league, I was 8th already in picks, and we only have it's a 10-team league. So I ended up not losing much anyway. I lose 2 spots. Who cares? So I end up being at 10, and I'm not. I don't care. So I have I feel like I have a good team. I don't have to go reach for waivers, and if I have to, I'll trade up to go to waivers. So I'm not really worried about that.
Nice.
But I really,
very nice.
And Dan Boys agrees. Cleveland.
Okay, I saw that there. I just want to go back before we get too far ahead. Yeah, so Ian Kish here. I think he was
That's
on
a
the
good
Wednesday
question.
show as well. He's saying Mooney or Javonte Williams. I'm assuming it's PPR when
Yeah,
people are
both.
asking this, usually in a flex spot. So what say you, classic?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd probably go Mooney. I do like Javonte Williams if they go up, because if they're beating the poop out of Jacksonville, they're just going to run it. And he did look good against the Giants. I like
Could have
Mooney.
very well been Javonte Williams that broke for that 70-yarder if it was blocked that way and he happened to be in there.
Yeah,
To me, I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
go
answer it this way.
Williams. Yeah,
Okay, I'm going to answer it this way. If you want a better floor, I'd go Williams. If you want a better ceiling, I'd go Mooney. And
yeah.
again,
Fair
that's
point.
to me, that's how I have to answer these questions. So
No, you're right. You're
it just
right.
depends on how people want to play their fantasy football, man. And
Yeah.
shout out to Ryan. What's up, man? Bang bang, Niner gang.
Oh,
What's
come
up?
on, man.
What's
Don't
up?
tell me things like this. I don't like hearing
What's
stuff like
up?
this.
I like
I
you
don't
already
like
even more
people.
now, Ryan. Let's go.
I don't like people trying to break my Lawrence Taylor slash Michael Strahan record.
And he's a Niners fan. Let's go.
Lucky you.
Yeah, and he was saying it is in the flex, so we were right on that there.
Okay.
He said had a person in my league who loves the Packers, so he had Rodgers, Jones, Stevenson.
Ooh. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, we've seen a
Oh.
couple of those. I seen a thing on Twitter where somebody had like an awesome team, but it was like all the people who flopped week one. Like Aaron
Oh
Rodgers, Devontae.
God.
A similar thing like Devontae, Ayuk. All these guys that all flopped. It was like a nasty team, like pre-draft, but they all didn't do anything week one. Don't
Oh
overreact, guys. Don't overreact. That's a nasty team. Not nasty,
yeah.
but those guys are good in their own. But that's why you don't start them all. That's why you don't
Yeah.
stack like that. So
No, I never
anyway,
stack like that.
yeah.
Never.
So let's see. Dim
They're
Boys,
talking about Fields.
he said Williams Ian. So that's that. And he said yes, it was PPR. So we kind of assume that. So that's good. We pretty much assume PPR, when we're talking here.
Yeah, most of the time.
But we'll kind of answer you, just to base, if we really think the
Rare
format
to see
makes it
standard.
different.
Very rare.
Yeah. I'm still my two main home leagues are standard, so but they've been around for 12 years, so we haven't,
Oh, I
it's
upgraded as soon as PPR became a thing. I went half PPR.
yeah, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Still don't trust Dalton. There we go. Appreciate it. Dim Boys, yeah, it's open field.
Yeah, no
Seeing them
problem,
soon.
Ian. I hope good luck this week.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Andy Dalton's left better served as a backup. So just
I can't wait. I can't wait till
likes.
Fields can actually get an opportunity.
I know, Dim
Yeah.
Boys. Hey, shoot me an offer, man, in the dynasty. I'm trying to
Hey,
win.
man.
I need a receiver. And
Hey,
a
man. I keep trying to trade Lord of Fana for either Fields or Trey Lance.
Yeah. Now that's a different level stack. I think you were mentioning that, Ryan, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I already answered that. So, Mike, how do you feel about the Cook Jefferson stack?
I don't mind those stacks, but unfortunately, you're depending on Kirk Cousins to have a good game to be able to have both do well. And that's where the problem is you're investing too much in both of them compared to, investing in one of the two. Yeah.
Shall
for
be
sure.
referred to as non-PPR, not standard. It should be referred to as non-PPR.
There you go. Fair point.
There you go. For a couple more weeks. Come at me later.
Yeah, for sure.
When he's done in week 8 and then you need him. Come
so
that's when Fields will start anyway. So
I don't mind the stack. I get why you would do something like that because you have a top talent in Cook and Justin Jefferson, but the problem with that is it's taking away production because Cook tends to take over and then you get little from Jefferson. So it's hard to start both of them when that's going to happen. So either Dalvin Cook's going to have very little and Justin will have a ton, or the other way around. So it's hard to play that particular stack in most situations. The better stacks are QBs with the wide receiver, unless it's on teams that don't mind dumping off. Like in the past with Alex Smith, with McKissick and any of the other running backs that Alex Smith worked with. But beyond those particular types of scenarios, you're better off going with the quarterback with a one option or the two option, whoever you view as the better option. Like for me, it's Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard compared to Galladay. Just how I feel recently about that type of stuff. So
I prefer neither, but moving on. Just a little shot, Mike. Don't take it seriously.
Oh, it's all good. We were going over since. Oh no, we already did Cincy.
Yeah, I think we're at Atlanta, Tampa Bay. We'll go to that one here. This should be quick. We have Tampa favored by 12.5.
The only thing that over under. The only thing that I wanted to talk about with the Cardinals and Vikings, Rondale Moore is definitely someone that you should be targeting if you haven't already, and if he's not already on your team, he should be on your bench. He's definitely going to get involved more, and I can only see his stock going up moving forward. Remember that we do have one extra week in the season. Teams are kind of throttling, I'd say, back a little bit with their play calling. I would wait because I definitely see Rondale Moore having a huge opportunity in this particular offense. And he's not a bad stack this week with Kyle Murray. So I think that you could probably get away with doing something like that. So sorry. Back to Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
No, you're good. I'm just going to say on that note, just again, he's a rookie. He's new. He's still there. Christian Kirk's still doing things. AJ Green still is kind of working his way there. He did see a good amount of targets. D Hop is going to probably see upwards of 140, 150, maybe even 170 targets this year. So just kind of keep an eye on that. So when you're talking about all that, where does Moore kind of fit in? So again, you're not, trading anything crazy away for him, but if he's sitting on the waiver wire, you have a spot, you can go ahead and pick him up. So
yeah, he's more of a late guy for me, but it's definitely worth picking up if you have the opportunity.
Atlanta, Tampa Bay, 12.5 point favor to Tampa Bay, 52 points over under here. What are you thinking about this game? Pretty simple. Start everybody on Tampa Bay and sit everybody on
Atlanta. Yeah, for the most part. The only big story is Rojo. They talked about the concept that Rojo will start this week.
Don't fall for that trap.
Yeah, don't fall for it. I'm not playing Rojo.
Hopefully you have better options.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully you have better options.
Pitts did well considering he had 8 targets, and he had a 50% catch rate, which wasn't horrible. He did okay. They were targeting him. It does look like he's like that second wide receiver for them. He does look like a wide receiver. It's weird. Like when I look at him when he plays, I'm looking for the tight end.
Number 8.
Yeah, that too.
That number 8.
But he looks like a tight end, or he doesn't look like a tight end. He looks like a wide receiver. So, and honestly, honestly, you're not wrong. He definitely looks like someone like Julio. And unfortunately, that I think that's what they're kind of working to make him be. So I think, unfortunately, I was really big on Russell Gage. Unfortunately, you got to kind of phase him out a little bit. So I would definitely be playing all your Tampa Bay guys except for maybe Rojo. Just because of what happened last week. I really do like Ronald Jones. I really do. I think he's a great running back, but unfortunately, he does have these fumbling problems, and then things, put him in the doghouse. Arians hates guys that fumble, so you can't really trust him. Other than that, I'm pretty much starting anybody. I'm even for starting guys like Ridley because of the Tampa Bay, DBs are hurt right now. That you saw them all get hurt in Thursday night. Hopefully, they get better, but at the same time, you're definitely starting all those guys. So
definitely. And
yeah, there's not much you can really say about that game. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a high scoring game. It's 52 over under. So they're definitely thinking it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. So
yeah. And we don't know who it's going to be. So he's going to spread it out and all that. So Cowboys, Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers by 3.5. 55 point over under. What say you?
Pretty. So
like the highest game of the week here, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was talking a little bit about this before with Gregory and Lawrence being out. Gregory's going to only be out for this week. Lawrence is going to be out for probably the whole year. on the other side of the ball with the Chargers, they lost Pro Bowl left tackle Brian Bulaga, which is a huge, huge loss for this team and Herbert. Thankfully, they're going against a really bad Dallas defense. So it kind of like it's a wash, in my opinion. So it's not a bad situation for him. I think he should do well against a really weak secondary for the Dallas Cowboys. The other thing that I noticed is everyone was pushing Justin Jackson as the number 2 for Eckler. And Eckler still played most of the snaps. He did pretty well, even considering he had a hamstring issue. But Roundtree is the next option. He was in there way more than actually Justin Jefferson. So is he someone you're looking to target?
Yeah. I actually picked him up in a couple deeper leagues. Ooh, I just like ate my mic there. I picked him up in a couple. My drink's getting empty. That's why.
I'm already number 2.
There you go. I picked him up in a couple leagues, so I definitely think he's worth just kind of a little ad just with the. I mean, again, Eckler was a game time decision, so if we got some clarity on who that number 2 is, to me, he's worth the stash. If you have the spot on your bench, I did, which means I probably did something wrong in that draft. But I think it was on the team that I actually lost Mostert, so I pretty much kind of had a spot there to fill anyway. So why not grab a guy that, again, could have some lotto ticket appeal? And if he pops off, I might be able to sell him high to somebody who's hurting on running back, and maybe come up in the situation. So again, that's what lotto handcuffs are just little lotto tickets. You're hoping they hit. Most of the time they don't.
Oh wow!
You end up throwing the scratcher away. So is what it is. But yeah, 55 points in this game. You're starting a lot of people in this one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to throw this up because I just saw that. And I'm just going to do this. Awesome. I agree with you 110%. I really do not like I'm low on Lamar Jackson to begin with. I had him outside. I had him outside my top 10 before the season. I do not like Lamar Jackson. I understand his floor with his rushing makes him, a more viable option. Matthew Stafford looks phenomenal in this particular offense, and I think he'll do well moving forward. So I think this is the right choice for this particular week, especially. I think they both have really good options, good, matchups, but I really do, good for you.
Right. And then I just kind of want to finish banging out these.
Let's finish out. Yeah. We're going to go answer
questions after that. Yeah. So just
keep
the questions coming. We'll get to them, guys. But yeah, anything else here on this Chargers Cowboys game? I mean, it's 55 points.
No, you're starting Keenan Allen. You're starting,
Mike
Cooper,
Williams,
Lamb, everybody.
Yeah. Those kind of things. So
Cedric Wilson is a really late, deep target that you might want to go.
Again, you're not starting him over D-Hop or anything like that.
Oh, no. You know
what I mean? Just again, I want to clarify for everybody out there. When we say, start everybody, we're talking about the people that there's no question about. You're starting your Ecklers, you're starting your CDs and all those guys.
You could probably start Cedric Wilson in a DFS if you were looking to overspend on everybody else.
And have like a contrarian play, just somebody that nobody may have.
Yeah, no one's going to pick him. So I'm all for if someone wants to do that. I'm okay with picking someone like him.
Small percentage of people will pick him. Let's say not no.
Yeah, the only other thing that I noticed with the Chargers is they didn't play Josh Palmer as much as I thought they would, because that was like the big thing coming into that particular game was Josh Palmer is the number 3, and it was a whole big thing about it. This Jalen Guyton was Guyton. He was out there for 53 snaps, which was roughly 65% of the offense. That's huge and way more than Josh Palmer, who was only out there for 14 snaps. So I don't think that they're using Josh Palmer in that third spot yet. And also they used Jared Cook pretty well as well. So, he's another option at tight end for either streaming or for DFS that I would definitely target.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to throw those in there.
No, you're good. I just want to double down on it because you hit the nail on the head. So,
Sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm just at the 2 hour mark here. I just, I don't want to
Yeah.
keep you up.
No,
Like
you're good, brother.
it's only midnight here on
That's
our time. So we
that's
still
what
got
energy
people.
drinks are for.
Yeah, we still got people in here with us. So hey, if the
Yeah.
people are watching, we'll keep going.
Yeah. I don't know for sure.
For those of you who might even still be at this point, if you don't know by now, check the descriptions. We'll get the timestamps in there with all the games, listed, so you could just skip around to, each game. So you don't have to hear all the back and forth with the
Hoopla.
in between questions and things like that. So check that out. Um, Next game we already did Titans and Seahawks earlier.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump to the Sunday night game. We have the Chiefs at the Ravens. We have the Chiefs coming in favored by 3.5. Kind of perfect segue from that Lamar Jackson question going into a 54.5 point over under.
Yeah. A lot of
Obviously,
points.
we know the Chiefs are going to be playing hard here. You're starting your Kelsey's, Mahomes, your Tyreeks. Where you start getting, question marks at is maybe the CEH rule against this defense. I think the defense didn't show out, very well. Again, I know I was supposed to hand off to you. My bad. I just kind of went into
No,
my own
you're
little
good.
thing there.
No,
But
you're
yeah,
good.
what are you thinking?
So for the Raven, I'm going to start on the Raven side of the ball. They ended up taking they ended up bringing up Devontae Freeman from their practice squad this week. They got rid of Trenton Cannon, which is nothing huge. Freeman was just in better shape than for Le'Veon Bell. So they moved him up. They still have Tyson Williams and Latavius Murray. So they're going to be used interchangeably. And right now, even Greg Roman stated that the bell cow back is, ending. So they're pretty much on board with the concept that they're going to be splitting up the backfield. Murray might see a few more tackles, or sorry, not tackles, a few more touches, but we'll see how that goes. You're definitely going to be starting Andrews. If I applauded Ryan before for using Lamar Jackson, but some scenarios you're going to be using Lamar Jackson for sure. And also Hollywood Brown is listed as questionable. So with limited options out in Baltimore, you might want to pick up Sammy Watkins. He might be someone to.
Don't do it, guys.
I don't know, man. No, I'm saying to put on your bench and not play. Put on your bench because he's. I don't know.
Don't be tempted. Don't fall for Sammy Watkins week 1 stats, Mike.
Okay, I have a question.
Come on.
Yeah, understood. I understood. But when is your boy coming back?
Oh, Bateman? I got him sitting on the IR, icing up nicely.
Yeah, my point is he's not going to come. He's not coming back for another couple of weeks. If Brown gets hurt, there's no other options. You go with Watkins.
They couldn't even throw against the Raiders offense, man. That's
Yeah,
how bad.
I
That's
agree.
how bad this receiving core was. We saw Lamar Jackson actually getting sacked by the Raiders defense. Just put that in perspective. They made him fumble twice. That's how ineffective that these wide receivers are at getting open against Raiders DBs and the Raiders secondary. That's all I have to say.
So my question to
don't fall for it.
No, true. So then, do you think Bateman is going to? Do you think Bateman is going to make it better?
Why do you think he's sitting there? Why do you?
Do you think Bateman is going to make it better?
He is going to make it better.
No, I'm sorry. Lamar Jackson is inaccurate and can't throw. That's why I'm applauding Ryan in this particular situation.
He can't throw to guys that are covered by Raiders DBs. That's all.
Wait. So since we're talking about it, I'm going to bring it up. A trade I'm thinking of sending Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, and Miles Sanders for Justin Herbert, Mixon, and Cooper. Hit that now. Do it. I would do it right now. Just do it. Don't even question it. Type it up right now in your app and send it out. That is a great trade to try for. If the guy accepts it, good for you. I want to hear about it. Please let us know about it because I want to know if you made this trade because this would be a great trade. I know you don't agree.
No, I'm saying actually even with it's tough because seeing Mixon in there, but I'd have to agree.
It's a great trade. I'm sorry. It's a great trade.
I wouldn't say great just because I was a little lower on Herbert. And again, I kind of got into that in the last episode. I think some guys
I'd rather have Herbert over Lamar.
Some guys gave me some flack for saying that I dropped Herbert all the way down to my around my 12 spot. He was actually in my 11.
Oh
But
no.
again, that's just because I had that. There's so many other good quarterbacks that I had ahead of him. If you heard the list, I don't think
Yeah, I saw your
we're
list.
talking more proven, guys that have done it for longer than the not even full 16 games that Herbert played last year. So we've seen Nick Foles go on a nice run and then not do anything for the remaining 30 years he's been in the league. So I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, I hear
They
you.
had no tape on him. They didn't know what to do. He had to throw the ball a million times a game. The defense is better now. He has Eckler back. I just think the upside isn't quite as there. I'm not saying he's not a talent. I'm just saying I don't think the opportunities are going to be there. So
Send that trade out now.
he's saying send it. I'm just saying beware. All right. So Chiefs Ravens, anything else you want to add on that?
No, you're going to be playing.
Mecole Hardman. I mean, I think the question
Yeah,
marks here are the Mecole Hardman. He didn't
yeah.
have a role as much as we thought that number 2 role is going to be. Obviously, this offense runs through Kelsey and Tyreek first and foremost, and then it looks like it's CH third in pecking order, and then it's kind of whoever else is just around for scrapings there after that.
Well, Robinson seems to be the number 2. I don't see Hardman as the number 2 based on snap count. And if you want to go by target
if that
count,
is the case, then I'm going to go back and take back what I said to Lou Camp about him being right about Mecole Hardman instead of DeMarcus Robinson, because I did say that earlier.
No,
but
honestly,
they do try to come up with him, but
yeah. He had more targets than Robinson by 1, but he wasn't on the field as much. So, and they even list. I mean, they list all 3 of them as a 1 on their depth chart, which is true. But it's one of those things where I've always liked Robinson better than Harmon anyway, and they trust Robinson more. So
yeah, it's seeming like that. But again, just 1 week. We'll see how it plays out. I just want to get caught up on some of these here since we only have 1 more game left to do. If we even want to do it, maybe we can just preview it on the Sunday show. We'll just see how it goes here. Going back to Ian, if you're even still watching here, maybe you'll check it out in the morning. But I wonder if Heineke even gets the start when Fitz is back. I'm not personally expecting Fitz back, honestly.
No, me neither.
I discussed it in the last show that this injury that he suffered has basically ended a lot of players' career that have been a lot younger and more
How old is he?
Mobile and agile. I mean, he has to be older. Fitzmagic, he's been around.
He's got to be 36, right? 37.
Yeah, and he's not that mobile to begin with. So to me, again, this ended Percy Harvin's career. It ended Bo Jackson's career. It ended. Who else did I mention? Oh, it didn't end Tua's career. He's
at
able
8
to
weeks.
Bounce back, but he was tough. So anyway, then we said Zeke Cooper said let's hear, and he's happy with it.
Yeah, I'm cool with
he
that.
has Zeke in the Cooper stack in quite a few leagues, and he's happy. You're happy now,
but that's because of the offense.
That's fine.
Yeah,
exactly. There's going to be opportunity there. Dem Boy saying he doesn't think. Yeah, he's coming back. Personally, I'm kind of right there.
No, not happening.
Dem Boys, you're in my head. I just thought this was gonna be okay stack just because of my time with all the ball defense, and he's talking about that Cook and Jefferson stack.
And honestly, I don't mind Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins he was in my top 12 in the concept of where I had him drafted. He's not a bad option. But the problem is that whatever you in situations in games, you're gonna have, with the Cowboys, they tend to pass to everybody. When it comes to the Vikings, they tend to just go to Jefferson and Thielen, and they do dump it to Cook here and there, but not as often.
Yeah. So George came back and said, "Do you think McLaurin will continue to thrive under Heineke?" And I think the answer to that was yes. I mean, he did sail a couple passes. Adrenaline could have been going. I think it was a short week. So once he gets more practice in there, calms down, gets that timing going. He's been in that offense, I think, for 4 or 5 years now. So he should have a pretty good grasp of it. And with a full, 10 days now under his belt, I think they'll have a pretty good showing. And who knows, he may even do better than what Fitz could have done there. So maybe it was sometimes things happen for a reason, you never know.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, that is an insane line on the Tampa game.
Yeah,
yes, McLaurin is one of those QB proof guys. Yeah. And I
he
think
really is.
Kind of proved it. And
I think he's a defensive proof guy.
You saw that one route he ran again where he turned Bradbury, where they played that
Yeah.
replay on that. When you're
Yeah.
running routes like that against the guy that's Bradbury's no slouch, man.
They were playing him.
Like,
They were playing him so soft. It was so annoying to watch. They
yeah,
had him playing way off the guy. It was really annoying. But either way, he is. It seems to be, matchup proof. So just play him.
yeah. Let's see. Den Boys going back said Guyton's a stud.
He is.
We have Ian out here saying thoughts on KJ Osborne. So actually getting back to that Minnesota game, we didn't even get to mention that actually back in
Yeah,
week
he's the
1
number
in our
3.
waiver wire show. But it looks like he has emerged as number 3. OBC
Yeah,
Johnson, I believe they sent to the IR, especially with Irv Smith gone here for a while. Looks like he has emerged as that number 3 there. Did have 9 targets, and again, that's because people are trying to cover Jefferson and Thielen. And again, this is why people are so high on Irv Smith being that third option in this offense with 2 talents like that, let alone the attention they have to play Cook out of the backfield. So sometimes it's nice being that, nice number 3 in one of these type of offenses with these weapons. So,
and Osborne or Kirk Cousins he likes those short intermediate routes, and that's where he tends to like to run. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Outlook on Tyson Williams, 7 rings. Again, he's was like the RB4. We didn't know who he was until everyone started tearing their ACL out. I think if you can sell him, sell him. If not, he could be a potential RB2 any week.
Yeah,
but it looks like as they get those guys going, it could be definitely a timeshare there. And just like we were saying, I think before, and again, we're just getting caught up on chats here. So I think you probably heard us say that, it's just more so of the feature back, the bell cow back days are over, at least as far as, Baltimore sees it. So when I have that kind of talk, I'd rather target different guys in different offenses. And that's just,
I like Tyson more in a PPR, and I like Murray in a half PPR.
Nice. Oh, we got to that one already.
Yeah, we already talked to that one.
Yeah. Let's see. So George came back and said, Jonathan Taylor outlook against the Rams.
I don't like it compared to Hines. I like Hines better just because they tend to fade off of Taylor when they're behind. They tend to dump it.
I think you could start both of them.
Of course.
We saw David Montgomery have good, good numbers against that defense. Obviously, a lot of it came on that 41-yard run. But I think the biggest problem with that was the fact that they didn't try to give him the ball again after that. They just kept trying to pass. He literally had one carry for 41 yards, and then they didn't even give it to him again until like 6 plays later. Which
what happened in that game? He ended up dislocating a finger, and he was out for like 2 series. So it ended up making it where Damian Williams was in for a tad more.
Well, that was later. I'm talking about like in the very first series. The very first series of the game. He took his first carry for 41 yards, and they literally didn't give him the ball.
Yeah, which I didn't understand.
They gave him the ball again. Yeah. They punted the ball before they gave him the ball again after a 41-yard run. Why would he not get the very next carry again?
I don't know.
Run the same play again and see if they could stop it. So, again, that's just me. I think Herbert could have MVP.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, it could be there. But again, that defense is a little better this year. The line's still not great, but we'll see. What could happen. But he definitely has the arm talent for it. So I'll say that. But there's a lot of guys.
Ian, if you're talking about the Fitz injury, it is that bad.
Yeah. As far as the Fitz injury, go look into that. Hip subluxation is what it is. So go do your research on that.
It's definitely that bad.
I'm no doctor, but I have stayed in a Motel 6 before, or whatever it is, a Holiday Inn or whatever it is. I don't know if I can even say that on air. They don't pay me for that. So I think this my second league draft was me taking Michael Thomas in the 15th round, hoping he comes back by week 8. I have him stashed on the team. Same reason. If you got him late enough, if everybody passed and you kind of pulled him, in that kind of dead zone. I think that's good.
Question.
So
this is a good question. If you can actually pull that off, I would take it.
I'll take the Allen and Wood side of that just to be on the other side.
I wouldn't. I would be for the Herbert and McLaurin side. I think you're actually, as much as you might be downgrading at quarterback, you're actually upgrading with wide receiver, and I think that overall you would be okay.
If it's 6 point per passing touchdowns, I think it's a little closer. If it's 4-point, then
Yeah.
it's definitely Allen and Woods for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Herbert.
What up, MB?
What up, MB?
Welcome to the show, man.
Absolutely, man. If you're still watching by now, hit that subscribe button. Herbert MVP. How? Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you said that, because now that I'm getting back to it, man, there's Mahomes. There's it's going to be hard for Herbert to get the MVP, man. I mean, he'd have to have a season like Rodgers to kind of come in and sweep that out of
I'm
him.
not.
There's a lot
I'm
of
saying that he has the ability to. He definitely does have the talent.
he
I
has the
think he's
potential
one of the
arm
most
strength there.
talented second rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has the accuracy. That guy can land a pass anywhere. I watched him throughout the Hard Knocks, and it was incredible to watch. Like, he would just throw it into a basket from anywhere. So
If Allen was younger and not as big of an injury risk, I would, if he just had a bigger type receiver
yeah,
like a Devontae Adams, I think he'd have a better chance at MVP. He just doesn't have that quite of a number one option there to, I think, catapult him there. And the problem is he's going up against Mahomes, who has Kelsey and Tyreek to help him get there. So it's going to be a tough sledding. And let alone, Tom Brady is going to be up there as well with the weapons he has and potentially what they can do this year. George come back
yeah.
and
I'm trying
says
to
that how do you
remember.
rank Clyde among the other RBs?
I'm looking up now. I'm trying to remember what other RBs we had. Oh, he had. I think he had
I think
Taylor
he said among
Gibson.
just other RBs. I have him as RB 16 this week.
Oh,
I'm starting Swift, Montgomery, Carson, Taylor, Elliott, Eckler, Gibson, who already played. I would have started him all over him. Mixon,
he's a
Harris, all those
lot.
guys.
Yeah, he's lower on
So
my
I draw the
rank.
line at like Harris, Sanders, Henderson. And it's just because the offense he's in. He has the potential there to score all the time.
Yeah,
and get looks. So it could happen. We've seen
yeah.
him
Oh
have the
yeah,
100
for
yard
sure.
and 1 or 2 touchdown games. So he has it in him. I'm saying it's a possibility, not saying it's for sure. Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
of
all we're
course.
saying. So, oh no, and I think I had a pre-draft. Ian, I had Keenan Allen, I believe, as my number 5 wide receiver overall in PPR.
Yeah, I love
When a guy
Keenan
can
Allen.
get 16 targets in a game, there's definitely some good upside there. So finally got caught up in the chat. Hopefully we got you guys there. I guess we can finish out this last game here, and then we can call it a night.
Sir. Yes, please.
So we have Monday night. I know, right? Hey, man, I've been trying to get through this thing for you.
No, you're good.
We have Detroit at the Packers. Packers are favored by 11.5, so there's not going to be too much to say here. With all that said, only a 48-point over/under. Kind of seems very similar to that Niner line when they played Detroit last time. The only problem is, or not last time, but last week, the only problem with this is the Packers are kind of coming off a dead game themselves. Obviously, a division game. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I mean, Rodgers historically has done like a lot better after a really bad loss. So I can see this happening. It's at home, so that's another helpful thing for them as well. Their defense is gonna, had a big loss today. They lost Pro Bowl pass rusher Zadarius Smith, so that's a big loss for them. This game might be a lot, it might be a little bit closer than most people think. They're also, unfortunately, they do have Swift and Jamal Williams as questionable right now. I think Jamal Williams has a chest injury and Swift with the groin still. Tyrell Williams will be out for this due to a concussion. Even though it's Monday night, I would just assume that he won't be there because, I mean, if you're playing Tyrell Smith, you're really low on the totem pole with wide receivers.
There are different leagues, though. There are different leagues out there.
So. But if you want to go with a someone to pick up to replace him, Khalif Raymond was the lead guy on the team for snaps with St. Brown trailing behind him. So he's not a bad option to take if needed. Jared Goff actually played pretty well, considering last week against the 49ers. So I wouldn't play him unless you had no other better options in like 2 quarterback leagues, but he's still someone that you can probably target in some situations. So
yeah, and super flex, if you had, Fitz go down and Goff was your 3, then you're plugging him in. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You feel a little more comfortable with that, especially like you said, with the defense that they're going to be facing. One thing I just kind of want to point out on this is Um, this is the game I believe last year, also week 2 or 3, when they played Detroit, that Aaron Jones had a 3-touchdown game. So definitely fire him up. Hopefully he can have a nice bounce back game against this defense. Obviously, we saw what a brand new 3rd round pick Elijah Moore, Elijah Mitchell did to Detroit last week. So imagine what somebody with the talent level as Aaron Jones can do against this
and even
offense.
Dylan.
So or against this defense. I'm sorry. So I hope Dylan stays the hell out of there. I have a lot of Aaron Jones shares, so I definitely want to see a nice bounce back game instead of those 2.6 non PPR points he got me last week. So
yeah,
probably also the same in
sure.
PPR. I don't know if he caught anything either, but yeah, it was pretty bad. So it should be a good Monday night game. So far this year, it seems like we've been blessed with some pretty good games. In prime time. So definitely looking forward to this one. And anything else you got on that?
Nothing that I can think of for that particular game. We have Ryan.
Oh yeah, so
sorry,
we're going right to at the same time. Great minds think alike.
Picking up the defense. Classic. Yeah, no, I agree with that move. I rather have the Packers in this particular week than the Ravens for sure. MB, I appreciate it. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe. So thank you for that.
Make sure you check that description. Hit the Sleeper channel. You can get the invite to the hit me up on Sleeper for whatever reason the link doesn't work. Come join our private Sleeper community, man. A lot of us on here. We love talking football, answering questions at all times. So hit that description and check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have Brooks. Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, Brooks with a lot of shares of Dylan. Believe me, I'm in the same boat. I do too.
Hey, screw both of you guys because it's the Aaron Jones show. It's the Aaron Jones show. So sell them off.
No, I was just saying as we're talking about certain things, and I just looked at my rankings because I wanted to take an extra second to look, and yeah, I had Clyde Edwards at 21.
Man.
Yeah.
There it is.
A lot of better options.
George, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. You're the one who makes this happen. We're gonna have
George, I appreciate it.
We came in here totally saying we're gonna try to keep it under 2.5 hours, and we barely accomplished that.
Come on, I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, I honestly thought we'd power through it, but really, honestly, it's because of you guys. We want to take your questions. Screw what we have to say. We want to know what you guys are going through, and hopefully, we're helping you. Get that done. Just full disclaimer, remember, we are not psychics. We do not see into the future. Ultimately, we're here just to provide you with that information to help you make your decision. We didn't draft your team. We didn't start or sit the guy. So just, use your resources. We hope we're one of them. And just remember, we share with you what we do. And if we say start some guy or sit some guy, just know we're hurting, somewhere just like you are, based on that information. So, it's not like we're telling you one thing and going behind your back and doing another. So just to get that out there for you guys, again, we're all in this together. I want us all bringing home championships. I want to see all the pictures and the belts, here. So unless we have anything else, Mikey, you go by Mikey. I don't know if I ever called you Mikey before.
Oh, don't ever call me Mikey. I already have enough friends that do it.
It must be late. But
make sure for both of us. You guys check out Sunday morning. We're gonna try to get a show together in the morning, right around that. Oh, nice. Glad to have you a part of the channel. We're always in there.
Be sure to turn those notifications on. You'll eventually have to turn them off because it gets crazy on there. But at least turn them on at first.
It does. Just I'm going to tell you that right now.
You'll have to use the snooze button,
man. Now you got NYG guy calling me Mikey. Jesus Christ. I get it enough at home. Anyway, make sure you guys you guys check us out on Sunday. I'm definitely going to be doing my best to make sure we're there to give you guys, the inactives and actives, starts it. All that stuff. So make sure you guys check us out. Oh, wow. From Australia. Holy
worldwide, baby. Let's go. Get right. Hey, George, we're going to have to throw you a shirt, my man. Go into the description. Go into the description. Find me. It's at Rastafarian, either on Twitter or through Sleeper.
Hold on, I'm
Hit
trying to
me
bring
up.
up your I'm
Send
trying
me
to bring
your
up your thing right
information.
here.
I don't care if it costs like $50 to send you a shirt to Australia, man. I'm sending it, and you better send us a picture, post it on the Sleeper channel. We want to represent that worldwide.
Hell yeah.
Get right community, man. So welcome, man. We appreciate it. And
I'm trying to bring up your tag up here to show
there
up
you go.
to show it up. Hold on. It's taking a minute. I'm very tired.
It's spelled all crazy. Just hit the description, man. You guys will see it in there. Other than that, man, I think we need to do the same. We need to be quiet and just get off this stream already. It's hard to leave with you guys all in here, man. But
I'm getting tired. It's 3:30.
So Mike has to go. So again, that's why we say join the Sleeper, man. We're just gonna get off of here. It starts popping after the show. Keep sending us your questions. We'll keep answering, as you guys know. Other than that, Classic, thanks for starting the show, my man. I really appreciate that. You holding it down as always. From everybody else here at Get Right, for Frank, for Dustin, we really appreciate you guys. Get Right Fantasy Network. We're on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, anywhere between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do this on the side. We have lives and kids and wives and all this other stuff. So we're just here to hang out, talk football with you guys, man. And just help each other try to do the best we can in this game. So let's go. And that's the support you get here with the Get Right crew, man. They're saying send it to them. And
for sure.
And he said thanks. So yeah, definitely hit me up and send it, dude, and we'll get that shirt out to you. Anybody else that wants a shirt, I'm not saying I'm sending it out to you, but getrightff.com. You guys can order them. They're on there. Help support us. It really helps. And you're representing Get Right Nation. So
I do not.
I was gonna say he doesn't. Get Right is his life. We've commandeered him here for our own purposes. So
I have golf in the morning. That's about it. I'll be fine.
I know. We got to get you to it, man. Don't miss that tea time. All right, guys. For everybody else, for real this time, we're out, man. Love it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys on Sunday morning. Get those last minute sit starts in there and just hang out before game time and enjoy it. So other than that, Classic, unless you have anything else you want to say.
Nah, just check us out. Check us out on Sunday. We'll be here. We'll be here to help you guys out.
Absolutely, again. We're out of here. We'll hit the outro and then the second outro.
Later.
Rasta out.